Hey guys, welcome to Circle Back Podcast. It's Hannah.
And Adrienne.
I just did the intro with Cindy 4 times before. I just realized that I say hey guys a lot.
Yeah.
But I can't help it. It's just kind of my thing. Also, we are in a new room. I feel like every single podcast this season, we've been in a new room. But we're in a new room today. Hopefully this is going to stay the podcast room. I'm not really sure yet.
You painted it and everything.
Looks great. I redid the entire thing. But I'm just trying to... I don't know. It's hard, like, to make a room a podcast room when you don't have a room for a podcast room, you know?
I get what you're saying.
Yeah, but it's hard because you and I are sitting, like, next to each other now, so I feel like I can't see you as much. I miss that face of yours.
Thanks.
All right. So
I
anyway.
could put a picture of me in front of you.
Oh.
That's a great idea.
I wish you could be in front of me, but I don't think that would work in the room that we're currently in. You agree?
I would agree.
Okay. All right, so we are here. I mean, it's a surprise that we have a guest today. We always have a guest, so it's no surprise.
Oh,
I was being
that was
sarcastic.
a joke.
Yeah, it didn't land very well. We have a guest today on the show, and today is gonna be more Adrienne. So
yeah, I am the surprise guest today.
Congrats,
it's
everyone!
It's called All About Me.
That you get to not hear me.
Yes,
Ugh.
It happened a lot. We've heard your opinions.
Enough.
We read your emails.
Enough.
And we are now.
What was the email that? What's his name?
I can't say it on
Steve
here.
Martin.
Yeah.
Oh. We recently saw the Steve Martin and Martin Short show.
Oh my gosh,
and
phenomenal.
So good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anywho,
a long intro today.
Sorry about that.
Yeah. So we have you know what, Adrienne, go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. So today we have truly one of my favorite people.
It's me. No.
Shut up. Okay. Anyways, today we have my friend Seth on the podcast.
Good afternoon. Thanks for having me.
Yes, thank you for coming, for
Excited
driving
to be
out.
here.
I was trying to be you just then because we're switching.
Oh, and I did that annoying thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
Isn't that annoying when I do it?
It actually worse.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I think it adds to the environment.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, you would. I'm pretty sure you guys have brought air horns to every single one of your family events for the past.
And cowbells. Can't forget the cowbells.
Cowbells. Yes, yes, for like 20 years. Great. Yeah, so Seth and I have known each other pretty much our whole lives. Our families grew up together.
Why did they grow up together?
We were both homeschool families. We went to the
Co-op?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Yeah,
Same co-op.
homeschool co-op.
A lot of kids in the family.
Yes.
Like sports, pretty active.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
A lot of ultimate frisbee and Nerf wars, and yeah, I think you guys also did a lot of. What was that online game you played with my brothers?
Shoot, there's a lot.
Wasn't there one like
games.
Tanks or something?
Club
World of
Penguin.
Tanks. Yeah, World of Tanks.
World of Tanks.
The classic.
Club Penguin. What
Yeah.
is that?
It was a game.
Club Penguin is one of the best games ever invented.
Wait, what?
Yeah. If you don't know about Club Penguin, then
get on
you know,
that.
you need a.
Is
You're
it
a little
still
late to the
around?
party. It's dead now.
Okay.
It finally died. They killed the servers.
Aww.
But R.I.P.
Oh, I missed it. Okay,
Is it
I'll
fun?
look it up though.
I'm sure there's like a YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Yeah. So same homeschool co-op, and you are one of 5.
Mm-hmm. That's correct. I have a twin brother, so we're both the youngest. I guess you could consider me the youngest, but I'm 45 minutes older than him, so you know
45
minutes.
45
That's
minutes.
a long time for twins, right?
It is, yeah.
Why?
I think he was like too busy trying to survive.
Okay.
You know, something happened. He almost died.
So
I
were
was
you
birthed,
guys-
and then
Were you in the NICU or anything at all? Or
I think for like a couple of days,
Oh, okay.
my brother was, and you know,
gosh,
I
45
almost
minutes.
did it. I almost made it, but
a lot
you
of
know,
twins are
he
like, yeah, I'm
survived.
like 2 minutes older. I
Yes.
was like, oh, okay. But you're like 45. That's pretty significant. Like,
is,
you
yes.
guys could celebrate your birthdays at different, like, literally different times.
Yeah, we could. He's gotten pretty tired over the years of always having to, you know, celebrate the same birthday as me.
Yeah.
So I think you'd appreciate that.
Wow, 45 minutes.
Okay, so this January, that's what we're doing. 2 separate.
It's going down.
45 minutes. Oh, it's not your turn yet. Your turn yet.
Shut up.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Yep. He just had his first child too, not that long ago.
Oh my gosh,
so
he did. Yes, and they are in
North
Dakota.
They are.
Wow.
Not there by choice, by the military's choice.
Yeah.
Are you
So
still in
it's
the
a long way.
military?
No, I got out about a year ago.
Just because you wanted to, or?
So when I first joined, I kind of only wanted to do one contract and then see, you know, how things are going to be after that. But I got married in between that time, so kind of a shift of priorities.
Yeah.
And I just realized, like, I don't know, there's too unpredictable and a lot of time away. So I figured I'd step back for a bit, and then if World War III kicks off, then I'll be right back. So
Perfect.
So what is one contract? Is that 4 years?
Or
is it different?
It depends on what it is. For me, though, because they paid for my schooling going to MTSU, it was 4 years. So,
Okay.
yeah, plus 4 years of, what do they call it? Inactive Ready Reserve, which is what I'm doing right now. So it's like you can get called up if they need you, but more than likely not.
Yeah.
So Luke is the only one who's still in the service, right?
That is correct.
Active?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
So I have, sorry, I got 3 brothers, and they were all in the military. My 2 older brothers were both Army, and then my twins Air Force.
Yeah.
So
Are you Air Force as well, or?
No, I was Army.
Oh, you were Army. Okay.
Yeah.
Did you ever feel like obligated to, like, is this something that you wanted to do growing up, or was it like a kind of like a, okay, well, now I'm going to do this?
I mean, and at the time, I did not feel pressure. Looking back, I think there might have been a little, but not really. Like I said, my oldest brother did it first, and he made it look cool. You know, he got to go to all the cool schools.
Yeah.
He did good at them. People loved him. And
Were
I was
your
like,
parents
that's
in?
pretty awesome. My dad was in the Air Force.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
Grandparents were in the Air Force as well. So
Okay.
Yeah, no pressure at
Yeah.
all. Jeez.
none at all.
Wow.
But yeah, he made it look cool, and then I got into high school senior year, and I was like, what am I going to do with my life?
Yeah.
I don't know. Let's join the Army.
Yeah.
Sounds like a great decision.
But so when you said you went to school, so you joined, went to school for what?
So they paid for my degree. I went like the officer route in the military.
Okay.
You can either be enlisted or you can be officer. But to be an officer, you have to have a college degree.
Gotcha.
So
Okay.
one of their incentives is they'll pay for you to get a degree, and then you sell them some of your years of life.
Yeah.
So
So you go 4 years of school, and then you're in
Yep.
for how many?
4 years.
Oh, 4,
So
okay.
like I said, it depends on how much money they pay you. For me, they paid for like 3 years of my schooling,
Okay.
which was, pretty decent at the time. And then I was obligated at least 4 years, and that could be either active duty, National Reserves, or National Guard, or the Reserves. So I wanted to make it full time. I went active duty, and yeah.
Wow.
And in that time, you spent, was it Poland you spent?
Yep. So I spent, my first year was training. Then after that, it was COVID. So we were all deployed to our own station, as we said, because we couldn't go anywhere.
Wow.
I was there at Fort Riley in Kansas.
Okay.
I was there for a while. And then in 2021, that's when we deployed. We went to Poland, or I guess it was more of a rotation. So the first 6 months, it was just kind of like a vacation. We partied, we got to go see all the cool stuff.
Yeah.
And then Putin decided to invade Ukraine. And then the other 6 months was very much not a vacation.
Right.
Crazy.
Yeah, it was pretty wild. But
So what
fun.
I'm really ignorant on all this stuff, so please forgive me. So after, the whole Putin. Anyway, after that happened, like, what was your job? What'd you do
While I was in Poland?
Yeah.
So it's the Army, kind of shifts their officers through their positions pretty quickly. And just the amount of officers in right now is, I don't know, they have less jobs for what people join the Army to do than they have people. So there's a surplus. So they kind of move you through pretty quick. So when I commissioned, I was an armor officer, and that's what I stayed the whole time, just the branch armor. And there's a lot of jobs within that, but the specific one I wanted was to be a tank commander. And I was able to do that. I had a platoon of 4 tanks, which was a lot of fun. But I only did that for about 11 months, and that was before we deployed. And then they liked me enough to throw me into an executive officer position. So I was a headquarters executive officer in a company of about 150 people. And pretty much as like a glorified secretary.
Nice.
You do all the stuff the commander doesn't want to do. You're on paper second in charge, but with your influence, you're really not second in charge. you know, they just put you in charge of like the maintenance and property and all that stuff. So
Yeah.
I was in that position when we were in Poland, and that's what I did. I don't know. It's without being in the military, it's a little harder to understand exactly
sure.
what you do, but for the most part, it was just trying to like get all of our equipment working and ready.
It's so interesting because you're so like, I don't know you very well, but you seem very like witty, but also very, I don't want to say quiet, but just
Reserved?
maybe reserved,
Yeah.
yeah, and like very kind and very just like down to earth, like you know what I mean.
Oh, yeah,
it just
absolutely.
seems, and I can't imagine like you like. Like, you know, I don't know.
Well, I
it's
feel
interesting.
like throughout your entire time in the military, you and your brothers have always excelled because you just do what needs to be done. I feel like in life,
Yeah.
in general, you're very solid, dependable people. So I guess it would make sense that you would.
I feel like, you know,
Yeah.
the philosophy we kind of approach it from is like you should take the job seriously, but you shouldn't take yourself seriously.
Yeah.
You know, there's way too many people in the Army that just think they're the most important thing ever and like it's all about them, and those people like everyone just hates. But,
Yeah.
you know, I kind of found if you can make people laugh and you help them out
Yeah.
and, you know, don't make it about yourself, like you can get people to do stuff for you.
People will listen to
a
you.
lot
Yeah.
easier. Yep. And that was one thing that carried me through the hard times
Mm-hmm.
in Poland was just like, you know, being right there with the dudes
Yeah.
and, you know, helping them out and making them laugh. And
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, we had a pretty good relationship overall.
Well, that's really cool because like someone like me, where I don't really have many family members in the service or anything, that we weren't that family. And I think I had a couple cousins, but like not super close to them and stuff like that. But my knowledge comes from like movies.
Yeah.
And they're all like yelling at each other all the time, and I'm just like, gosh, man. But it's just that I really, really like that you said that, because that is what makes a leader great, is being able to understand their position enough to know what they can do and how to do it and how to lead, but they're also like, but I'm also human, and I'm not going to make them feel like I'm the next, you know, big thing since sliced bread.
Yeah.
Is that what they say?
Yeah, the greatest thing since sliced bread,
Yeah,
right?
I'm sure.
Next
Yeah.
best things.
Okay, yeah.
We'll take that.
Yeah, we'll take
it. But that's a really cool way to look at leading, and I think those are like probably the most successful leaders, even in the work environments, in like my job, even like the way she makes us feel part of a team and not just like lower if you do some other job that she's right there picking with you and doing the jobs that you don't necessarily want to do as a owner or as a leader, but you're there doing it with them because you care for the people under you.
Yeah.
So I think that's cool.
And I got very lucky too with like the commanders that were over me. Like I was put in some of the hardest jobs in the military from what people tell me, but they didn't honestly feel that bad or that hard just because like I had good commanders that were over me to learn from. And yeah, they showed all those qualities. Like, you know, they knew what had to get done. They would give us like direction and motivation, but they would also be right there doing it with me. There was a period between like January to March of 2022 where I'd stay up until like, I don't know, 2 a.m., 3 a.m., and then I get up at 5 a.m. just because of all the stuff going on with the war. And, you know, it was crazy times, but my commander was like right there with me doing the same thing. So we both shaved several years off our life together in those 3 months. But, you know, we learned a lot. So it was good.
And you have to have that balance. Like, because you have to, as someone that's under a commander, you have to have the respect for him to want to be led by him. Like, you know what I'm saying? And so it's really cool when you can meet someone that has both those qualities and they put them together and magic happens. Like, it's like, oh, this is a person I want to be under, that I know I can learn from. And overall, when you're in an environment like I can only imagine that you were in, and not just physically, mentally, having people there to lead you, but also be beside you, like you're saying, probably changes the whole game. Like, it's probably just something that you're like, okay, at least I can get through this. Not easily, but I'm getting through. So
yeah, make it out in one
sounds
piece.
a lot like my job.
Yeah.
No, our jobs are basically the
A
same.
lot of similarities there.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of the armies just kind of boils down to stuff that you do in middle school or like kindergarten even.
Yeah.
Maybe that it all boils down to like teamwork, you know, you gotta work together. And then you find out, oh, I actually do. Like I can't do
You
it
have to
all on
rely
my
on those
own.
people.
Yeah, like here's what we need to do. I expect you to do it. And then they get it done. you
Yeah,
know.
that's really
So.
cool. You know, I think about, so I'm a mom, and I think about Eli and how, like, he is someone that just wants to share, that wants to, he wants you to experience what he's doing too, which I
Gets from you. That is you, 100%.
he does.
Yes.
Yeah, he gets this like, I want to experience this with you. I want you to have fun with me. I want you to, I want you to sit with me here. And I hope he never loses that but I also hope that he understands how to lead when he needs to, but has this humility about himself that's like, no, like I can be with you in this. Like I can be with you in the hard times and the good times. And it's just, I don't know. And I just think of you as someone like, that's a crazy, like your story already to me because you're young still. Like, what, you're 30?
27.
Oh, Jesus. I thought he was older than me.
No.
But like you've had a whole career already. That's insane.
That is
Isn't
crazy
that
to think
crazy?
about. Yeah. During a freaking war, too, which is insane.
And you think about like
Ukraine.
probably when you enlisted, you're like, oh, this is going to take forever, but like it's already done.
I know it went by so fast.
Yeah, that is crazy. Oof.
Yep.
I need to join the army.
Yeah, for real. I've tried. I have too many
Yeah.
mental health issues. They won't really let me in, unfortunately.
I don't know what. they're
I don't know
talking
why
about.
not.
Fine. I would be a picture of health.
I think I would be great. But that's actually really interesting to me because wouldn't they want people who already have a handle on their mental health, right? We all have mental health issues, right? Or do we not? Do we not?
I think we're just
I
in a
don't
special
know.
club, Adrienne.
I don't know. I thought everyone did. Okay, but don't they want people who already go to therapy? They already take care of themselves. They already know their limits and
I get what you're saying.
know how to take care of themselves.
I get
you know?
that. I think though you're running a risk of knowing if they actually do or not. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And so then they get there and they're a risk to the people there and themselves. And I think that's why they have to draw that hard line probably.
Yeah. I mean, I get it. I'm salty about it, but I get it,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, when you join, they make you do like a physical, so they look over you, and then I think they do go over your mental health records
Yeah.
or whatever, and make sure that you're stable enough to at least get in the door, and then
I
after
am
that. But I think one thing the Army does do well is they have a lot of like good resources for the soldiers that are in there on
Yeah.
the post. So if someone is struggling, then. Again, the commander should recognize that and help that soldier out, and then they can go like get the care they need. So,
Yeah.
that's one thing that impressed me.
Did you weren't married in the Army at all, or
At the very end, I was.
okay?
So,
Did you meet here or stateside or?
so we met at MTSU.
Oh, okay. So
Yep.
okay.
Yeah,
So you've known.
we've been together actually 8 years now.
Oh,
We're coming up on
okay.
it, but we've only been married about 2 years. So,
I gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, the Army was, we always called it our third wheel. It was there between everything that we did,
Yeah.
any like holiday we wanted. It was like, oh, the Army.
Yeah.
Like, it got in the way a lot. So, props to my wife for sticking through with it. She.
Because you guys, I guess, were long distance, long distance.
That's pretty long
Yeah.
distance.
We calculated it almost like 3 years of the 8 years that we've been together, we were totally separated.
Oh wow.
Were you engaged when you were in Poland?
Yes.
Okay.
So,
That's what I thought. Wow.
yeah, I was planning on getting engaged earlier, and then COVID happened, and like I said, we were all deployed to Fort Riley, so I
Yeah.
couldn't leave. And I was there for 9 months before I got to go back home. So,
So you
then-
weren't allowed to leave like
The base?
the base at all? Wow, 9 months.
Yeah. You had a like a 50.
long time.
It was like a 50-mile bubble that you had to stay within around
Wow.
Fort Riley. And
Could
then
Jordan come visit you?
She could, but she has to do like a 2-week like lockdown
Oh
before
my
she saw me.
gosh.
So
Man.
it was pretty wild.
Yeah.
How was it with within the base? Like, could you guys go and hang out with each other? And
They had certain restrictions. I think there was like 5 million different policies they
Yeah.
put out through the
I'm
course,
sure.
and it kept changing. At
Yeah.
first, it was like no more than 2 people, and then they're like, okay, 8 people's fine. No, that's too much. We're gonna do 4 people.
Okay.
Like it changed a lot. And
Yeah.
one of the most amusing
sorry,
things,
John, you gotta go. You're the last of the 8, dude.
Yeah, one of the most amusing things was they'd make us do staff duty, which, when you're the officer on call over the weekend, you just got to go check up on stuff. And I would go into the barracks in the middle of the night, check on the guys, and I came across a couple ragers where there's just like rooms just packed full of dudes partying, and I'm just like, guys, come on.
So is that difficult though? Like,
It's hilarious.
I would find that so difficult. It was like you walk in, and definitely being the type of person you are, just kind of like you're nice anyway. You also want to have fun, and like I'd be like, should I join this?
Yeah, sure.
Or like, are you going to be the guy that's like, hey, we're cutting this off? Like, that'd be hard for me. I'd be like, oh.
Yeah, I mean, it was always depressing telling people they can't have fun, but there's like the way the regulation says, and then there's kind of what you can do. So I'd be like, hey guys, you guys better be gone in 10 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
And then I would, leave and then check up on them in a couple hours, and then, it would all be over. So there was ways to get around it.
Right. That's, I mean, you have to follow the rules, but definitely when you sign up, like, what you're signing up to kind of thing. Yeah. And so Matthew, he was in the Army, but he he got out. He was, what is it? Not when you're discharged, but it's a good discharge.
Honorable discharge.
Yes.
Discharge.
Because of a kidney issue that he had that he wasn't aware of. Anywho, but he always said that they would try to have these like party type things, but they would always get caught. It never failed that they got caught every single time, and the command or whoever, I don't know, never let them go to sleep after that. So they just had to stay up like forever. And that was like a punishment or something. I don't know. But
That is rough.
Oh my gosh, that is actually kind of hilarious too.
yeah, he would like write me and be like, yeah, today I did like threw a grenade or whatever. And I'm like, today I was working at Chick-fil-A at the time. I was like, today I made more chicken. like my job and his was just so different. But yeah, you guys are special, man. I appreciate your service. Like, honestly.
Thank you.
Because there's salute. Because it's not for everyone, and I know people that have gone into the military just simply because they didn't know what they wanted to do with their life and they're miserable. And so I don't know. I just think it's one of those things where, do you know when you enlist and you kind of know what you want to do you feel like you were kind of prepared, or were you just like, oh, this was not what I thought it was going to be?
It was, I had a bit of a heads up because my oldest brother did the exact same thing that I was going in to do, being a tank commander, which I don't think it really met his expectations, but, he was able to talk to me, tell me what to expect. And so I think it matched my expectations a little bit more. COVID threw a wrench in things because then it just totally changed the way the normal Army operates. It I don't even know if it's gone back to the way it was before.
Yeah.
But there's no way to get prepared for 100% of situations that you're going to be in.
Right. It's like asking a parent, like, were you prepared to parent? And you're like, well, not until you're there. Like, you can't read enough books. You can't train enough to really know what it's like till you're there.
Exactly. You're doing a lot of on the job training. You're talking to people that have done it for a while just so you can kind of learn from them. And, the Army recognizes that, like, you're not going to be able to get trained for everything. So they try to like show you the basics. So when you go through like a really intense schooling, especially, schools like Ranger School or whatever, what they really try to teach you is just the basics and get you really good at the basics.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, those are the things that you're going to use like every day. And, through that, you're going to encounter situations that are a bit more unique and you get some life experience. But yeah, you can never be prepared for everything in life.
Yeah. Now, did you do your schooling at MTSU and then go to basic training?
So when you're enlisted, not enlisted, when you're in ROTC, you don't actually go to basic training.
Really?
Unless you're going to be in the National Guard. So it's a bit weird. Like the route that I went, they didn't have like official basic training for me. But the way they do it is they send you to Fort Knox, which is, pretty close to the northern border of Tennessee. You go there for a month in your junior year, but it's more of an evaluation. So everything you do in ROTC gives you points. Your grades give you points, all that. and they rank everybody in your class like nationwide,
Oh, wow.
graduating. They look at the points that you got through college, and they list everyone number 1 through number, 10,000 or whatever it is. And then they rank everyone based off that.
Number 10,000.
I was about to say the same thing. Oh my goodness. Because we know Seth was what? You were 9,900.
Yeah.
And
That'd be crazy.
Almost had a perfect score.
Oh my god.
did you
No,
really?
No.
Oh.
Oh, I was like, of course.
Yeah.
I think
big
I
shock.
ended up in like the top 20% or something, but there's some people that just eat, breathe, and live
Yeah.
ROTC, and I was like, I want a somewhat normal college experience, but
Yeah.
once they're done ranking everyone, and it's time to commission, they give everyone the top 10% of everyone on the list. They give their number 1 choice for a branch.
Oh, yeah.
So like, what job do you want to do? As well as like what I guess component you're going to be in, like active duty, National Guard, because there's only a limited number of spots for each of those. So if you're one of the top competitors, you get your top choice. But what's even worse is if you're in the bottom 10%. So if you're that number 999 or whatever, then you also usually get your top 3 picks, because they try to match bad people with good people, so it's not unequally weighed. Otherwise,
That actually makes sense.
It makes sense, but at the same time, like, then why?
That does kinda
Why
suck.
do you
Exactly.
try?
Yeah.
I mean, like, who cares what rank you're in?
the lesson here is you got to be extreme. If you're going to be the best, be the best, and if you're
Right.
going to be the worst, by
Just-
golly, just go all in. I'm joking. Yeah.
Please be good. No.
Yeah, and everyone in the middle just kind of gets thrown wherever the Army needs them.
Yeah.
But all that to say,
That's crazy.
our training, if you want to call it basic training, they called it advanced camp. That counts for a big majority of the points that you get. However, I guess I was a little bit special because they sent me to also basic camp, which is like basic training, but it's only 1 month long, and
Yeah.
it's very watered down. I did that the year before I went to advanced camp, so I did get a somewhat basic training experience. It was with like reserve drill sergeants, and I don't know, it was not very stressful, but it was like good to actually get the same training that a lot
Yeah.
of other people get. So
Yeah, because you want to be able to relate to those people too. Yeah, that's crazy. I didn't know that existed. I thought
Yeah.
everyone went to basic. So like, do you when you sign up or whatever, do you get to choose whether you go to school or not? Like, so I'm thinking about Matthew, right? Matthew just went straight to basic, but I wonder if it's because of how old he was, or do
Yeah,
you just choose?
So it really depends on what's available, and you got to talk to the program.
Yeah.
So for me, I told them that if you give me a scholarship, then I'll come to MTSU and I'll join the Army.
Right.
But if I don't get a scholarship, then I'm not going to do it.
Right.
But they interview you, they look at everything, and then I guess every year they have applicants, and they pick whoever they.
I guess a
they
certain
like from
amount of
it.
people. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. So.
Do you ever think about what you would do if you didn't go to the Army?
I actually have, pretty often.
Yeah.
And I don't think I would have strayed too far from the Tennessee area. Now, exactly what I'd be doing, I'm not entirely sure. I went to school for public relations, actually.
Oh, okay.
That's what I studied. And, it's still probably a future job that I'm going to consider having.
Yeah.
But if I didn't do the Army, then I would probably try to work at a firm starting off in Nashville doing that. And then, see where that takes me.
Right. Yeah, that's so crazy.
Didn't you minor in German?
I did.
You got your. Of course. Did you spend time in Germany? Did you ever get to Germany?
I got to visit for a little bit while I was deployed, but it wasn't anything like related to, what we were doing in
Yeah.
Poland. It was more of like, they call it like a staff ride. You get to go see some battlefields and, analyze what happened. And it's supposed to be kind of like a training
fun.
event. So
Yeah, like a big history class.
We just nerded out for
Yeah.
a solid 4 days.
Wow.
It was,
awesome.
it was fun times.
Exciting.
Do you still keep in touch with people that you? I mean, because I'm sure we were all over the country.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
They're not just
Yep. So I still keep in touch with a lot of my friends, and because we were all the same branch,
Right.
we all kind of follow around the same age. We all follow kind of the same training progression. So most of my friends have now migrated down south to Fort Benning, or Fort Moore is
Yeah.
what it's called now. So they're all there right now, and some of them are still back in Kansas. But we haven't seen each other a whole lot,
Yeah.
since I've gotten out.
Did anyone get a Poland with you that you were with in the, I don't know, camp or whatever?
I ran into actually I ran into someone in Poland that wasn't like part of my training, but when I was growing up here in Tullahoma, I was in Civil Air Patrol with a guy, and I randomly ran into him
so random
in Poland. I was just like, wait, is it Daniel? Is that you?
That is
Yeah.
wild.
Civil Air Patrol here in Tullahoma.
In Tullahoma, correct. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
Why
it's-
was he in Poland? Because he's in the in his Indian.
Yeah,
oh,
he
he's
was in the
military?
Army as
Okay,
well. So
okay.
I guess that is one thing about being, I guess, specifically in the Army, but also I feel like if you work any job a long time, you're going to run into the same people just completely unexpected at random times in the world. So
Yeah.
That is wild.
What a time, though.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about this this war we got going on at the Ukraine?
So how you doing?
and-
I'm fine. Are you fine? Oh,
yeah, and it was even crazier because my brothers were in the Army, and so they recognized the last name of Whitehead. So I ran into several people that came up like, "Hey, do you have a brother named Neil?"
Oh,
and I was
wow.
like, "Yeah," and he was like, "Oh, I was with him in Texas or whatever, like 5 years ago." I was like, "Oh my goodness."
That's another thing with big families too, is you can't escape your siblings. People are gonna know your siblings everywhere you go. Pretty
Yeah.
much.
Yeah.
I would just like to say I feel, I don't know your family much, but I feel like they know your siblings for being very good. Mm-hmm. Mine was not the same experience.
With your brothers.
Yeah, it's like, ooh, you came from that family.
Oh,
No,
you're a brink. Oh boy.
oh boy, and it's the CK brink too. It's the poor brink. I always- 'cause
Not
the
even.
brink-
I know you always wanted to
Yeah.
be part of the rich brinks.
The right, yeah.
That don't have a C in their
Yeah.
name.
So this is a really weird thing, but I feel like I need to tell you, and I feel like it'll be fine.
Yes.
I'm gonna tell
I'm so
him
glad
finally.
she's telling me this
Yeah.
finally.
So when Adrienne and I started hanging out, I don't know, the Whiteheads got brought up or something, and because she's pretty close with you guys, and I was like, wait, I think I think I spent the night at their house. And she's like, what? And I was like, yeah, I'm almost positive I slept in their bedroom. Sounds so creepy. So Rachel
Better
Luzader.
than the closet.
Yeah, Rachel Luzader was
Uh-huh.
like house sitting for you guys or something, and so I came over and like I just slept in y'all's room, but I never got to meet you guys or anything, and so I've had this room over my head for like 15 years of like, and Adrian's like,
in the log house.
yeah, and I guess it was a lot. I don't remember. Like it's by the firehouse.
Yeah.
So, yeah. You guys still live there?
Nah, we don't.
No.
Unfortunately, we moved in 2019, or my parents
Oh.
did. So
That hurt everybody, I
it
think.
did. I have dreams about it every night.
Yeah. And so like
That-
I was just always like, yeah, I'm pretty sure I've slept in.
That's
in their
crazy.
room.
Wait, do you remember which room you slept in?
I think it was your room.
Did it have little like?
Was it on the
sharks
corner of the
in,
house with like 2 windows?
I think it was.
Yeah.
I don't want to say yes and just say yes, but I think it was. I think
You want to
it's-
know something? The urban legend.
Because she slept in your sister's room.
Okay. Yeah, upstairs.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, that was in fact my room. I'm pretty sure, but there's some history to it. So when we moved into the house, we all like the people that owned it before us. They had their grandmother, and this is kind of creepy, but their grandmother, I think, had Alzheimer's, and for whatever reason, they just couldn't trust her to be in the rest of the house, so they locked her in that room, and that's where she stayed. And she was
Yeah, I
trying,
had some talks with her. No, I'm just kidding.
at 3 a.m.
Yeah, there we were.
Yep. Now I think she tried getting out of the closet, tried scratching her way out. So there was like claw marks inside that closet, and we were terrified of it when we were kids.
Oh my gosh.
Yep.
Were they
So,
actually there?
They were there, yeah.
Oh.
As far as I know,
boy.
they're still there to this day.
That's crazy.
Wait,
That's awesome.
is that something? That sounds like a your dad story. Did he make that crap up, or is that?
Now the owners told us, so they even showed us, which was kind of weird. But
that's a weird
we
thing.
still
Let me
bought the
Show
house.
you about this.
I actually, yeah. If I was trying to sell a house, I would not tell those stories.
I just bet my dog did that. Sorry about
Yeah.
it. That's what happened there. She
Yeah.
actually got out, the grandma, and she started on my door as well. We don't have
Wow.
video, but there is a scratch on my door. So for the listener.
Oh yeah, there's some nice scratches. What is that from?
I'm pretty sure it's from they were moving furniture and they just
Oh,
that down there. I need to clean. This is embarrassing. That right there is a spill from Kratom, I think.
oh wow. Okay, there's a lot. doors. You go through them, you leave through them.
You drop things.
You drop things, you hit them with stuff.
What can we do?
They really tell the story of our lives.
Of the house.
Don't they?
Yeah. These doors are like so old too. Like they've probably been in this house since it was built. I mean, honestly.
Probably same thing with the walls.
I would say, yeah, I would say so. I mean, you can never
Probably.
tell. But
just a wild guess.
yeah, maybe. I think you might be onto something. They may be. So tell me about you guys. So you just grew up together.
I feel like our families always hung out together.
Yeah, I can't really remember a time like being introduced to the Calderwoods.
Yeah, same.
I just remember that we've always
just always
kind
been
of
there.
been there together.
Yeah. Because
Yeah.
what year did you guys move into that log house? Was like
So we moved in 2004.
4, okay.
Yeah.
Where did you live before then?
We were like kind of near Knoxville.
Oh,
out in the
okay, still
country.
Tennessee. Okay.
Yeah, same area, but
Yeah.
I can't really remember actually meeting you guys. I just know you went to our church for a period of time, and we also had co-op, and I don't know, we just kind of did a lot of stuff together.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was that Shelbyville?
No.
No,
It
different.
was
Okay.
Tullahoma, yeah.
Tullahoma.
Yeah, and I think our older siblings were probably a bit closer at first. They hung out, they did a lot. I know Lauren
They
went
could
on.
drive.
Yep, they
Yeah.
could drive. I know Lauren came on several trips with us,
Yeah.
like, when we go on vacation, because,
Lauren went like camping with you guys, which is hard to picture,
it was camping,
Yeah,
quote
yeah,
unquote,
quote unquote.
in a very nice cabin,
Yes.
and like
Okay.
out in the mountains among
So they went on
amongst other
vacation.
cabins.
Yeah,
It was vacation.
Did it have a hot tub?
Yes. They
Okay,
had
that's
okay.
not camping. That's a
They had
vacation.
I
like
didn't know that.
putt. They had. I just imagine Lauren's
funny.
talking to you, telling you
Yeah.
that like we hiked 30 miles up a
I
hill.
backpacked.
Like,
Because your family does legit
Right.
backpacking. No, okay,
Yeah.
that's hilarious. I don't think I realized.
yeah, you probably need to ask her
I
about
will.
that. So
I will absolutely do
That's
that.
amazing. Yeah, let's ask her. So what she
Yep.
says.
And you guys are runners, or were. I don't know if you still
You
do
still
that,
run?
but
Yeah.
I know Taylor in particular you guys would run for no reason. You'd
That's
run
ridiculous.
miles.
I can blame Taylor for helping getting me in shape.
Okay,
Mainly
yeah.
my oldest brother Neil and Taylor for some reason were like, hey, let's start running. It was just like November or December, and I was like, okay, well, I'll come along,
Yeah.
with my skinny little legs. And then we ended up running like 8 miles the first time we got together.
You ran
And
8 miles first time we went running?
Yeah.
The first time, well, not the first time I'd been running, but with them. But I don't know why, they just wanted to. And we went out on a road over a bridge, and I was like, okay, this is kind of sketch. And then we went back the other way, and I thought we were going to like turn up the hill to go home, but nope, they kept going straight, and they went the opposite way.
Oh my gosh.
And
They'd run from your house to our house sometimes.
yeah.
And
I would have just sat on the side of the road and been like, I can't go no more.
yeah, like this, I'm done.
I go to my freaking like mailbox. I'm like, water. Eli's like, Mom, jump on the trampoline. I'm like, no, not doing that.
Crazy.
Oops, dropped the SD card. Yeah, that's crazy. Do you still run
I do, yeah.
every day?
Not every day. So being in the Army, they kind of like starved me, and the stress just kept me from bulking up. Contrary to popular opinion, there wasn't a whole lot of like time to like really get in shape, because we do PT every morning, we work out. But being like an officer, you do the PT program that your soldiers need to do.
Oh, okay.
And so a lot of our soldiers were like fat and overweight just because they're tankers, and for some reason tankers are fat. They don't have to walk around.
Yeah.
So we did a lot of running.
Yeah.
So I've always done cardio my whole life. I've never really like been able to bulk up and all that stuff. So now that I'm out of the Army, I've like tried to cut cardio entirely.
Yeah.
Just work out,
for you.
eat a bunch, and so far nothing's happened. So dang metabolism.
I also don't do cardio, and I also eat a lot.
I have the same problem as him. I
Yeah.
just don't bulk up.
It's our metabolism.
Yeah, it must be.
Yeah. This isn't on video, so you
I'm
can't see
okay, he's tall and slender.
the difference.
And
We both are?
No, he is,
Oh.
and I'm
Now you're talking about
short.
me.
And
Stout.
here is my handle. Here is my spout. And hoops.
Oh boy.
So
So
do
we
you-
did
oh,
go to.
go ahead.
I went to MTSU as well.
At the same time.
At the same. Yeah. Well, you're a year older, so you went.
Yep.
You went a year.
Okay.
Before me, and then our other mutual friend, who is my age but way smarter, also went with you because he graduated early.
Micah?
Yes.
Okay.
Micah. And so you guys were there for a year. And you said you wanted to keep your like relatively normal college experience. I feel like you had a pretty.
I think I had a pretty average one.
You've always been a very like people. You can talk to anybody. You enjoy getting people together. You enjoy that community of people. And so when I started going to MTSU, I kind of just followed you guys to different places. BCM, I met a lot of people at BCM because of you. And then because I remember my first like 3 weeks, they want you to do all these events and activities and like meet new people and make friends.
The most awkward 3 weeks of college.
I didn't do any of them. I went to, they were like, if you don't do.
Which is so different from who you are now.
Yes, I've definitely grown as a person. But when I first started going to college, I was like, I hate organized events and having to do things like people telling me you have to do this. And I was like, I'm not going to do it. But they told me at orientation, if you don't go to like 5 or 6 of these events, we will reach out to make sure you're quote unquote doing okay. No one reached out, which I'm so glad because I didn't go to a single event. I think I got one T-shirt I only went to college for, a couple semesters, but still I didn't go to a single one and I regret nothing,
It's going to be like in 5 years, you're going to get a call like, Adrienne, are you okay? You're like, I don't know at this point.
Honestly, I'm not. Thank you for calling.
Yeah, we noticed you haven't been to any of our events the last 10 years.
The last 10 years. Can you believe that was almost 10 years ago?
Wait, say that again?
It was almost 10 years ago.
Really?
We started college.
I feel like 10 years ago was like when I first got into high school, maybe, but no.
Yeah.
That was like the end of high school at this point.
Yeah.
So.
Gosh, 10 years ago.
Because you graduated 2015.
Correct.
Right? Yeah. Coming right up on 10 years.
Yeah. I graduated in 13, so.
Yeah.
Even older.
Mm-hmm.
Just bring it
11-year.
Yeah.
Your 11-year reunion is coming up, which I think is hilarious. They didn't do a 10-year reunion
11
for
year.
her.
It's got to be 11.
Yeah.
We only do prime numbers.
Yeah. They reached out and they're like, so I guess there's like a group of them like facilitating the reunion or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the girls reached out and was like, hey, I am wondering if you would like to be in our group. And now this is like 2 weeks away. Like if that, I think maybe. Yeah,
about a couple weeks.
Maybe 3 weeks, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, so she's like, I was wondering if you would want to help me with like games and things of that nature. And she's like, because if I remember correctly, you were pretty involved in like being very enthusiastic and blah blah blah. And I was like, and I literally texted back, I was like, I'm a different person now. And then she sent me this picture and it was me on top of this guy's shoulder and it's like most school spirit and I'm like, yay!
Face painted, blah blah blah.
So anyway,
that's what
I
you
guess
get for having school spirit in high school.
Yeah, 11 years later you get a text.
Yeah.
Times have changed.
Yeah, I was like, okay, well, I guess. I don't know. I haven't really done anything. I should probably text her back. And
yeah.
Anyway, so now that you're out, happily married, congrats.
Thank you.
Do you guys live here in town or are you in Murfreesboro?
We live in Murfreesboro, yes.
Okay. How's that going?
It's been quite a change, but a very good change for sure.
How long were you in Poland?
I was there like 10 days shy of a year.
Wow.
We were supposed to only be there 9 months, and then we got extended, and that caused its own complication of things because I had to move my wedding day.
Wow.
And conveniently or hilariously, whatever you want to say, the day that I came back was supposed to be the day that I was supposed to get married on.
Wow.
And that's the date that like me and Jordan can remember as our anniversary, not the actual day we got married on. So like, oh wait, what's our anniversary? Let me go back and look.
Yeah.
But we
Facebook memories. No.
Can I just say I was living in LA when you guys got married, so I flew back for your wedding.
I know, thank you.
And but the day I got back to LA, so like the morning after your wedding or whatever, I got the worst stomach flu I think I've ever had in my entire life. And to this day, I'm like...
You were down for like 3 weeks.
Yeah, I missed like 15 days of work or something. It was really rough, and I'm like...
It was the Pizza Hut.
I
think it was the Pizza Hut.
The wedding was at Pizza Hut? Or?
It was, yeah.
Yeah, we did it there, like in the kitchen with
Papa
everyone.
John's was booked, so...
We didn't have a juggler. We had like a pizza throw.
Yeah. It was great.
Yeah. Okay, so... I'm so dumb. So you came back from Poland on the day you're supposed to get married.
Mm-hmm.
How far did you put out your wedding?
We had to push it it was like a month and a half, so
Wow.
not like terrible.
That's a bummer, though.
But yeah, it kind of I think reduced the people that could come. I don't know. Luckily we were able to get it changed because we it was like February when they told us we're getting extended. So yeah, I came back from Poland and then had like a mandatory 5 days or whatever where they evaluated us and made sure we weren't going to go crazy after being separated.
Yeah.
They gave us so many classes don't beat your spouse and are you going to? And I'm like, no, I'm not. But
Okay, you passed.
yeah, I passed that one with flying colors, thank goodness. And then they cut us loose when we went on leave, so then I got married over that. And then we spent the last year when I was in the Army there in Kansas, and then we promptly moved back here to Tennessee. So we've been here. I got a job in supply chain thanks to her dad. He's a professor of supply chain at MTSU.
Yeah.
He helped me get the job, and now we've been transitioning, I guess, kind of into civilian life, which, I mean, for Jordan, she lucked out. I don't know how she did it. Her job, she works at MTSU in their finance department, and they like her so much. They're like, all right, we know you're leaving, but you can just work remote for
wow.
however long. So she worked remote for a long time, and
That's
then she was able to keep her job.
That's great.
So she's back here. Hasn't been a huge change for her. For me, though, it's a bit different dealing with, everyday civilians, but I think it's a nice change.
Normies.
I guess, I mean, how is it the hardest part of just kind of structure, I guess? Because you probably knew what you were doing every day, maybe?
Yeah, I think most of the learning curve is just learning the job. I think something in the Army was again, they can't train you for every situation. So they kind of train you in the general sense, how to survive, but you're not really a subject matter expert on anything. But you have a pretty comprehensive view. Yeah. Whereas the job I have now requires such specific knowledge.
Gotcha.
Knowledge that they can't really teach you. You just have to do it for a long time. That there was a period where it was pretty stressful starting off. I'm I don't know if I'm going to do this very long. And then, it passed. But I mean, we'll see how it goes. I've been there 8 months now. And, everything's going good.
Was it hard for you, or is it hard for you to go from kind of leading people to being led again, or?
Not really. Just because I've been in the leader shoes, and I think being in that position at such a young age, kind of gave me perspective on what they want. Yeah. And at least when I was in leadership positions, I always knew what my subordinates, or what I wanted out of my subordinates. I give them a task, and I kind of knew the implied tasks that they should be doing, and then I'd see if they do it. Now that I'm in a new job and I have a boss over me, I try to look at things from her perspective, here's what needs to get done, and here's the implied tasks that you should be doing. So I try to help her out as much as possible.
That's such a healthy way to look at it, because there's so many people that, that just in pride, I guess, is a struggle of being well, I've done this, or I've done, I know it, don't tell me what to do. I've been here before type of mentality. And it just seems, it's kind of a breath of fresh air, definitely for someone that's leading you, I bet, to be oh man, he's teachable. He is okay with me being over him, in that way. I don't know. That seems so good for you. Yeah. That's really cool. I don't know. You seem very, I want to say fluid, but I'm not sure if that's the right word.
Gender fluid. I get that vibe from you too.
Yeah.
Definitely. I'm definitely on a spectrum in multiple ways.
Yeah. I think.
What spectrum am I not on? That's the question.
Maybe you can rise to any occasion type of person. It's even if I need
flexible.
Is that what
you're saying?
Maybe. That's a good word for it. And being just okay with the tasks that you've been given to get it done, and you seem to be very mindful of the other person, whether you're over them or being led, which is really cool. So
yeah, I think one thing I've noticed about civilian jobs, and it's very good. I mean, the Army's this way too, but specifically in civilian jobs, is everyone's just trying to get the work done, and we're all on the same team, so they really appreciate it if you actually try and are upfront about what you do. You know, so I'm still new in the job. It takes 3 years to actually get good at it. So I'm sorry guys, I'm not much help, but I'm gonna tell the people up top, you know, what's going on, and like they've been very supportive, you know. So,
And I think just being like honest, like, and not try to pretend you know everything. Like, just be like, I have no idea what this, like, you know, this is happening. So, that's my life every day. I have no idea. What's going on. Like, Eli's
but
like,
you're
Mom,
good at what you do.
No idea, son.
Yep. Okay, that's not true. I've heard Elias say, I think 3 times in probably the past 2 weeks, Mom, you're always right when you say this is this or that is that.
Yeah, he has been saying that. The other day he was like, I said I don't know, and he said, why? And I was like, I just don't know that subject, you know. And he's like, but I thought you knew everything. And I said, Mommy does not know everything. And he's like,
Okay, disappointment.
Sorry, I'm
Can I
not
play
the
Fortnite?
Google
another
machine.
disappointment. Yeah.
The Google machine.
Yeah. Not only am I not Google, I'm not the Google machine. So don't try to. Okay. Well, this has been really fun. I've enjoyed getting to know you. I've always been in these, I don't know, circles when Adrienne invites me, and I am sorry to say, like, I've never really gotten to know you or Jordan or anyone, really, for that matter, because I see you guys like once every 3 years. Like,
I know, it's just
like,
very
for, like,
infrequent.
an hour, and I'm like, no.
Yeah.
Okay. But anytime I've ever seen you or the people that you and Adrienne know, that kind of group that you guys have, it's always been, I'm a very observant person, and I like to sit back and watch, and the group that you guys have, and you and Jordan, and just seems so open to, just like she said, easy to talk to, open to conversation. And it seems like you truly do enjoy bringing people together. And I just think that's a really cool quality to have. So
Yeah, I was talking to Ashton, and we were talking about when we'd see each other next, and we were both like, Seth will probably get something together soon. Sooner or later,
You guys are always welcome to come over.
Yeah, reach out.
Yeah, and it's cool because, like, the Whiteheads have been brought up multiple
countless times.
when I hang out with Adrienne's family, and it's always such, like, good memories. It's always people laughing. It's always just like a community, which is really, really cool to see. So yeah, anyway.
I think I did realize a couple years ago what I would consider the foundational difference of the Calderwoods and the Whiteheads, and it's when we were playing a game of Spyfall. I don't know if you remember even what Spyfall is, but basically you have to guess things by giving out clues and stuff like that, and it was either you or Luke gave it away by making a really funny joke, and so you lost the game, but the joke was really funny. And I was like, the difference between our families is you guys will give up the game to make the joke, whereas my family will give up the joke to win the game.
Yeah. To the death.
I'm going to write that down and get it tattooed somewhere that's deep.
Yes.
That is in there. Yeah. You should live your life that way.
Yeah.
That's a whole lesson right there.
There you go.
Oh my gosh. All right. Well, you're so dumb. So it was really good to have you, and I really appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Adrienne was like, Seth's going to do it. And I was like, oh, cool. Like, that'll be a fun one.
He just wouldn't stop bothering me about it. Just kept asking and asking.
Over and over.
Yeah. We'll have to have Jordan on next time.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
I'll bring her along.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, again, thank you so much. And Adrienne, as always, love you.
Love you.
Okay.
I had just taken a gulp of water,
Yeah. So,
but I love you too.
all right. Well, we'll talk to you guys on our next pod.
See you on the flip side.
On the flip side. Okay. Bye.